Welcome back to BookShortz, the channel where we bring you powerful book summaries in just minutes. Today we're diving into one of the most chilling and thought-provoking dystopian novels of all time, Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. If you've ever wondered what a world without books would look like, or how dangerous blind obedience can become, you won't want to miss this. Before we jump in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a mind-blowing story. Summary from BookShortz. Now let's get into it. What if Fireman didn't put out fires but started them instead of rescuing? Books from burning buildings. They tossed them in and watched them turn to ash. What if reading was a crime? Thinking was dangerous, and ignorance was peace. Welcome to the haunting world of Ray Bradbury's Fahrenheit 451, a dystopian future where knowledge is forbidden, curiosity is feared, and silence is a rare treasure. Guy Montag is a fireman, but not the kind we know. He's a burner, a destroyer, a silencer of thoughts. His job is simple: find books and burn them. That's the law in this world. Books are dangerous. They make people think, feel, challenge authority. They spark ideas. And nothing is more feared than an idea that can't be controlled. The government wants a docile society, one that's entertained, distracted, and most of all, obedient. Books threaten that order, and so they must be erased. Montag has been loyal to his job for years. He wears his fireman's badge with pride. He returns each day to his cold, loveless home, where his wife Mildred spends hours with the walls of their house, which are actually giant television screens. Mildred and millions like her are hypnotized by shallow entertainment, synthetic emotions, and artificial relationships. She pops sleeping pills like candy, laughs at nothing, and fears everything. Real, but Montag's world begins to crack the day he meets Clarice McClellan, a 17-year-old girl who's not like anyone he's ever met. She asks questions that no one else dares to ask. "Are you happy?" she says. That simple question lingers in Montag's mind, gnawing at the walls he's built around his thoughts. Clarice is curious, full of life. She watches the rain, tastes the air, wonders about the past. And in her presence, Montag feels something stir, a buried sense that maybe the world isn't supposed to be like this. Then she disappears, without a trace. Rumor has it she was hit by a car, or maybe taken by the authorities. Montag doesn't know. But he does know this. He misses her, and the hole she left behind fills quickly with doubt and discomfort. Around the same time, something shocking happens. During a routine raid, Montag and his fellow firemen storm a house filled with books. The elderly woman inside refuses to leave her library. She lights a match and goes up in flames with her books, choosing death over a life without knowledge. This moment shakes Montag to his core. He steals a book without thinking, hides it in his uniform, and brings it home. That's the moment. Everything changes. Montag begins to question everything: his job, his society, his life. He starts reading the books he's stolen, despite not really knowing how to understand them. He's desperate for meaning, for truth, for something real. But the more he reads, the more dangerous he becomes. Mildred is horrified by his behavior. She doesn't understand him. She doesn't want to. She represents the numb society, the one that chooses comfort over truth, distraction over depth. She reports him. He's betrayed in his own home. Montag turns to someone who might help Faber, a former English professor, a quiet man who remembers the time before books were banned. Together, they hatch a risky plan. Faber will help Montag understand literature, and Montag will use that knowledge to fight back. But this isn't a war fought with weapons. It's fought with words, with ideas, with courage. Captain Beatty Montag's fire chief is a complex figure. He knows more about books than he should. and he uses that knowledge to manipulate Montag. Beatty delivers poetic monologues about why books are banned, how they cause confusion and conflict, how they threaten the unity of society. But under his clever words, there's a sadness, a contradiction, a deep inner turmoil. Beatty wants Montag to conform, but maybe part of him envies his rebellion. When Montag's secrets are discovered, he's forced to make a choice: obey and burn, or flee and fight. He chooses to run, igniting not just a pile of books, but the very system that oppressed him. He becomes a fugitive, hunted by the terrifying mechanical hound, a machine built to track and kill those who break the law. Montag escapes the city and finds refuge among a group of exiles, former intellectuals who live on the outskirts of society. They have no books, only memories. They've each committed a work of literature to memory, preserving it like a living library, waiting for a time when books and thought are welcome again. As Montag finds his place among them, the city he left behind is destroyed by bombs, reduced to rubble. The entertainment-obsessed society was so distracted, so unaware they never saw it coming. But from the ashes, Montag and the others vow to rebuild. Not with fire, but with words, with knowledge, with hope. Fahrenheit 451 is more than a dystopian story. It's a warning. It was written in 1953, but it feels eerily relevant today. Bradbury saw the dangers of censorship long before most did, but more importantly, he saw the risks of apathy. When people stop reading, stop thinking, stop questioning, society begins to rot from within. The world of Fahrenheit 451 isn't just about burning books. It's about burning thought, conversation, memory culture. It's about a world that has traded meaning for comfort, connection. For convenience, books in this story aren't just paper and ink. They're symbols of freedom, of individuality, of resistance. Bradbury's vision is terrifying. Not because it's filled with violence or horror, but because it's so plausible. It's a world that willingly surrendered its freedom, not to tyrants with guns, but to screens with smiles. They wanted to be happy all the time, and in doing so, they forgot how to live. Montag's journey is one of awakening. It's about a man who goes from blind obedience to dangerous curiosity to conscious rebellion. It's about discovering that true happiness doesn't come from avoiding pain, but from understanding it, learning from it, growing through it. Even the fire in the novel evolves. At first, it's a tool of destruction, a weapon used to silence, but by the end, it becomes something new. A symbol of warmth, of change, of rebirth, like the mythical phoenix that rises from its own ashes. Montag becomes something stronger, wiser, more human. The characters around Montag serve as mirrors of society. Mildred is the shell of what humanity becomes without depth. Clarisse is the spark that lights the fire of change. Beatty is the conflicted enforcer torn between knowledge and duty. Faber is the quiet voice of reason, urging caution and courage. Bradbury didn't just write a book, he created a prophecy, a mirror held up to every generation that forgets the power of thought. He reminds us that censorship doesn't always come with jackboots. Sometimes it comes with distractions, with noise, with comfort. And that's the chilling beauty of Fahrenheit 451. It forces us to ask, are we paying attention? Are we thinking for ourselves? Or are we slowly letting the fire creep in while we smile at our screens and pretend everything is fine? In the end, this novel is a love letter to books, to thinking, to freedom. It's a call to action, to read, to reflect, to remember, because once we forget the value of words, once we allow ourselves to be silenced even by our own indifference, we've already started to burn. If you want to listen full audiobook for free, link in description.